Just some guy talking here, and it is a rainy day in Los Angeles. Other than that, it was a typical Monday, the way that it started out. I got up, I picked up my phone, I started looking at my news apps, which probably isn't the healthiest morning habit to have, but that's what it is, regardless. I wanted to learn about the world, what was going on, what's important for me to know, things that I need to educate myself on, think about, talk about, etc. And all I saw were articles about Hilaria Baldwin, who apparently is Alec Baldwin's wife. I did not know this. I don't care. Um, and all these articles were talking about something that she had done that was creating backlash. And I don't care about that either. I don't really care about celebrities, sorry, or their opinions about stuff that's outside of the scope of their expertise, or their life experience. Um, but after seeing enough articles, I was like, well, what did Hilaria do? And so I clicked on one and I read about what she had done. And I'm here to tell you that I still don't care. It was zero nutritional value for my brain. It was a waste of the time that I spent um, reading about it, and a waste of the time that I spent thinking about why anybody else wanted to read about this. But it did get me thinking about some of the other times that that's happened to me, like the time that my news apps thought that I really cared about Meghan Markle and the royals and their baby, or when the algorithms for my news apps really, really thought that I cared about everything that Miley Cyrus was doing, who she was married to and divorced from, and then dating for a while, and then dating after that. Like, obviously I cared because these apps were telling me that I did. Um, and I am saying that I don't. So why are they in my feeds? I'll tell you why. It's because just like today, at a certain point, I probably got beaten down by how much of that stuff was in my feed. And despite my better thoughts and my smarter thoughts, I thought to myself, what did so and so do? I should probably know because obviously so many other people want to know that there are so many freaking articles about this. And then I click on it. And guess what happens? Once I click on that, then the powers that be, the algorithms, the cookies, trackers, etc. um, they're like, oh, this guy likes celebrity gossip, let's give him some more of that. So I have 2 points about that. One, we are not um, discerning enough, not careful enough, not picky enough about what we ingest from a social media, news media, um, alternative media perspective. We all have been in that situation where we end up going down a rabbit hole. We set out to do something else or read something that actually matters to us, and then end up watching every single, cat video, cute dog video, um, that's on the internet. And, suddenly an hour has gone by. And other than the time that we've invested into that, how much of our brain power have we just kind of wasted, right? How much space is this going to take up in our brains that it didn't have to? I could have gone my entire life without knowing anything else about Hilaria Baldwin and what she did or didn't do or where she is or isn't from. I could have gone my entire life without knowing anything about Meghan Markle and the rest of the royals, or Miley Cyrus. And yet, um, at some point, I just kind of got lazy and was like, you know what? I'll just click, I'll read it, see what happens. Maybe it's interesting. And 99% of the time, it's not. And the, you know, 1% of the time that maybe it is, it's still not that important. Um, but we do it because we don't uh, pay enough attention to what we ingest. We don't give ourselves um, enough protection against all the like just m- pointless messaging that's out there that we, want to consume it for whatever reason. It's just junk food, right? It has no nutritional value to our brains, no educational purpose, no, your life is not better. You won't be able to do better things or or help other people, or even just live your life any better because you learned this stuff or read this stuff. Fine. For some of you, there's entertainment value. I'm not, bashing it just because it's not my thing. But I do think that there's a message there that we need to be more careful about what we put in our bodies, what we eat, what we think, what we read, what we watch. Um, so I don't know what that means for you watching my channel, but hopefully there's some nutritional value to this for you. Uh, but the second part of it is more of a kind of a analogous, I guess, an analogy or to that whole experience. And that is, what is it that I am inviting into my life that because I'm being careless or lazy or because I'm just like, I'm bored, I'll just click on this particular interaction. I will go down the rabbit hole of this, conversation. Um, I am going to indulge in, the memes that are running through my head instead of doing um, things that are important and valuable for me. And what are the repercussions of that? Um, I think they're the same. The fact of the matter is that we invite things into our life, and sometimes we just do it casually. Sometimes we do it accidentally. Sometimes we do it lazily. Um, we express interest in stuff. We allow it to have brain space, um, or in our minds, and then we start to get more of it. We start to gravitate towards more of it. The algorithms in our brain, the emotional energy that we exude starts to attract more of the same. And that's great if you're thinking about doing things that are positive, that are healthy, that are edifying, that matter. You want to attract more of the same, right? You want more of that positive, valuable, healthy stuff. But how much are we also just, like I said, carelessly, casually inviting in trash? How much junk food, emotional junk food, are we consuming because we had a moment here or there where we were like, you know what, I'll give this a shot because everybody else seems to think this is important. And then all of a sudden, you're down that rabbit hole. All of a sudden, you're in this space where you're thinking way too much about stuff that really is not relevant to your life, that actually is damaging your self esteem, your feelings about yourself, your feelings about other people. And I'm not sure that I'm ready to give advice how to protect that, but I do think that it's important for us to realize that that happens. So I guess that's the only value that I found in Hilaria Baldwin's story. I hope that you found some value in this. I encourage you all to think about how you think. Think about what you think. Think about what you allow yourself to attract. Think about why some of the things that are in your life that are not great are in your life and figure out whether or not you have some responsibility for it. Just like this morning, I was super annoyed that, my news apps thought that I gave a shit about this person when I clearly didn't. I had to stop and think, well, what's my responsibility in this? What did I do? I must have done something or may have done something that um, made people think, made the system think that I valued these items of information. or non-information, as it were. And I think that that's a valid question to ask ourselves about our headspace, about our emotional environments, our the relationships that we have, the people that we interact with, the people who tend to, it seems like they just gravitate towards us. I'm not saying that, it's our fault, but I think it's important to analyze what it is that we have some responsibility for controlling. And in my case, from this point on, I need to be a little bit more careful about whether or not I click on clickbait, and a little bit more careful about what I allow my brain to dwell on in my own headspace, in my own life, the things that are going on for me, around me, that impact me, that maybe have a little bit more value than um, social media junk food, but probably don't deserve the time and energy that I'm allowing them to occupy and take up and use in my life. I'm just some guy talking, and I will talk to you next time.